Okay, fellas, here she is all back together. Everything's been bolted back in. And we just saved a gearbox. I mean, you know, we could have spent 50 bucks and bought another one and put that in. But why? We had a spare. Fixed the one we got. So, let's just see if it works. Now everything's back like it's supposed to be, bolted in. Everything is greased and oiled and Loctited where that's appropriate. And she does seem to work. I can tell that the gearbox on the right is now, or on our left, is now a little stiffer. You can tell because this track will stop before this one does. This one will coast a little further. See that? Once I get these broke in, they'll be alright. Okay, anyway, as long as we're here, I got two little tricks I'm going to show you about working with these gearboxes and stuff. This is stuff I picked up in the military when I worked sheet metal on helicopters. We know that these tanks are absolutely loaded with Phillips screws. They're just everywhere. And when they strip out, they are such a pain. So here's a couple of tips that'll keep that from happening for you, okay? Most of you probably already know this, but for those that you don't, the first trick is when you put a screw into a hole, especially if it's going into plastic, when you, like one of these screws that holds the gearbox in, when you put the screw down in there, instead of tightening it immediately, turn it backwards, turn it counterclockwise, and you'll be able to feel that thread drop down as it comes across the end of the thread in the plastic. And that's where you start tightening from, and it'll line up with those threads and make your little hole last a lot longer before it finally strips out. And the other one is when you've got a Phillips screw that's starting to strip out at the head. This one's okay, but when you get one that's starting to strip out at the head like that and it doesn't want to turn, this is a very simple trick. All you do is take the tip of your screwdriver, dip it in some Ajax or Comet or any kind of powdered cleanser. That powdered cleanser will get on that Phillips screwdriver and it gives it extra grip, and it'll take those Phillips screws out every time. I learned that in the military. We had those crew chiefs used to go out there and they were constantly stripping out nut plates, you know, and guess who had to change them out and put new ones in? So we got them lots of cans of Comet and told them to stay off them speed handles, and we definitely cut down on the Phillips screw damage. So that's just a couple of tricks, and now you can see that gearboxes are really no big deal. They're pretty easy. So if you strip one out, like I said, do not buy a new box right away. Check around, check with me. I might have extra gear. You might be all set. That took me a total of about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to fix that gearbox. I'm out there driving around and all of a sudden the tank stops moving on one side. And hey, 20, 30 minutes later, bam, I'm back in business just out of the spares box. All right, fellas, take care. We'll see you next time.